Not every truth sets you free right away. Some must first shatter everything you believe to be real. What if your deepest pain was a reminder of who you were before you forgot? What if what we call reality was just a misread code? This video is a warning. The 7 ancient codes you're about to hear were hidden by the masters themselves, not out of cruelty, but wisdom, because not everyone is ready to awaken. Have you ever felt that something was missing, even when you had everything? Felt time speeding up as if truth was right there, but no one dared touch it. These ancient codes were never erased. They were scattered in symbols, myths, and frequencies, and those who recognized them were always meant to find them. And if you have the courage to walk through all 7 codes, a hidden revelation will be delivered to you at the end, not as an answer, but as a mirror. Code 1, the invisible call, why you always felt like you didn't belong. From a young age, something in you felt different. While others seemed to fit in effortlessly, you found yourself observing the world with unease, questioning rules no one else seemed to see. It wasn't rebellion, it was intuition, an echo from a deeper place. Maybe they called you too sensitive, or said you overthink everything. But what they saw as excess was really a spiritual radar, an inner sensor detecting the fractures in a reality made of illusions. Some people go their whole lives accepting the world as it is, but you never could. Social masks, automatic patterns, empty achievements. They all felt artificial, like a real stage with a fake script. That sense of not belonging isn't a mistake, or it's a sign of mission. Your soul didn't come here to fit in. It came to remember something the world forgot. And in remembering, bring light where amnesia has taken root. You're not here to follow, but to reawaken. Hermes said the all speaks in silence, and it's in that inner silence that the call begins. It doesn't come in words. It comes in unease, late-night questions, wordless sensations, tears with no clear reason but a truth behind every drop. And before we move on, when you like and subscribe, you're not just signaling the algorithm, you're signaling the universe that you're ready for more. This digital gesture is energetic alignment. You're not just watching, you're co-creating. And if this first sign stirred something in you, wait for the next one. Because what you call strange awareness might just be the beginning of your hermetic remembrance. Code 2, the veil of illusion, the constant feeling of waking from a dream. Have you ever looked at the world and felt it wasn't real? Like everything around you was part of a repeated script, a loop of behaviors and beliefs not born from consciousness, but from programming? That feeling of waking up while others sleep is the second sign, and while it can feel lonely, it's actually a sacred gift. You're not confused, you're awakening, and awakening is never comfortable. Hermeticism teaches the all is mind. The universe is mental. Everything we call reality is first a projection, and when your soul begins to remember that principle, the illusion starts to unravel. You realize you're not in the world is inside of you. This clarity grows each time you question why so many blindly follow senseless rules, why injustice repeats, why truth feels hidden, and lies get applause. But every question you ask is a code, the code of lucidity. Jesus said, "You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free." Buddha called this state enlightenment. Plato called it leaving the cave. Hermes called it mental transmutation. They were all speaking of the same thing, breaking the spell of illusion. Make no mistake, the matrix thrives on distraction. It doesn't need your understanding, just your reaction. But your consciousness is the glitch, the crack in the system, and every doubt is a step out of the maze. In the next sign, you'll understand why certain symbols stir something indescribable in you. They weren't made for logic, they were made to awaken your soul. Code 3, the language of symbols, why certain archetypes stir you deeply. Have you ever felt a chill when seeing the Eye of Horus, or a strange magnetism toward the caduceus, the flower of life, spirals, sacred geometry, symbols that somehow speak to your soul without using any words? That's because symbols don't teach, they awaken. This is the third sign. Your soul is recognizing the sacred language of Hermeticism, not through ideas, but through frequencies, not through explanations, but through reminders. Hermetic texts say that truth is not transmitted, it's remembered, and symbols are vibrational keys, designed to bypass logic and unlock the part of you that never forgot, only went quiet. Carl Jung called them archetypes from the collective unconscious, images that exist across cultures because they're part of a deeper memory, one that predates history itself. The Kabbalion teaches, the all is unknowable. That's why it speaks in metaphor, not manuals. When a symbol stirs your body, it's activating vibrational memory, like a seal being broken, a spiritual password, and the more you notice, the more you remember. They've been carved into temples, woven into mandalas, hidden in ancient glyphs, religious art, even modern logos and currencies. The problem was never the absence of symbols, but the forgetting of how to see. And if symbols unlock memory, then your obsession with merging science and spirituality is no coincidence. The next sign reveals show your mind became a bridge between what can be measured and what must be felt. Code 4, the mind as the key. Why you're drawn to science, psychology, and spirituality. Have you ever wondered why you're so drawn to quantum physics, deep psychology, neuroscience, ancient philosophy, and mystical teachings? Why all these things feel connected, even if the world insists they're not? That's the fourth sign. You carry an ancient blueprint within you, and your curiosity isn't random. It's reactivation. You're trying to reconstruct the map that was sealed inside you before birth. Hermes said, as above, so below. Today, scientists like Nassim Haramein and Amit Goswami echo this truth, claiming that consciousness isn't a product of the brain, but the fundamental layer of the universe. Mind and cosmos are one. Dr. Joe Dispenza shows that repeated thoughts and emotions reshape your brain and electromagnetic field. You don't just think, you vibrate. And your vibration creates your experience. The Kabbalion whispers, the universe is mental. You are the transmitter and the receiver. This hunger for meaning through deep knowledge is not intellectual vanity. It's your soul's memory surfacing. You're not learning, you're remembering, putting language to something you've always felt. It's important to say this: the popular law of attraction only scratches the surface. Without understanding all 7 Hermetic laws, it becomes shallow, even misleading, because attraction is just a piece of a much greater truth, mentalism. And still, after all this awareness, you might feel something is missing. That's no failure. It's the next code calling, the unshakable void that even success can't fill. Code 5, the creative void, when the material world is not enough. Have you ever achieved something you thought would make you happy, only to feel a strange emptiness afterward? Maybe it was a promotion, a relationship, a diploma, but the glow faded quickly and a quiet question echoed within. Was that all? That's not ingratitude. It's the 5th sign. It emerges when your soul realizes it wasn't born to collect rewards, but to manifest a purpose. And purpose can't be found out there. It can only be remembered from within. Hermes taught that everything is vibration, that the outer world is a reflection of the inner state. So nothing external can fill what can only be activated by your essence. You're not missing something. You're missing alignment with who you truly are. This is when old paths stop making sense. You try to follow the same goals, but they no longer satisfy. Even success feels hollow. That discomfort is not failure. It's a redirection. It's the soul whispering, you didn't come here to conform. You came to shift the frequency of the field. And your dissatisfaction, is a vibrational code reminding you that reality is a mirror, and it reflects your dominant frequency. If something has awakened in you so far, it's because your soul is already remembering. What Hermes taught in silence is now available in action. The ebook, The Key to Prosperity, Transform Your Financial Life with the Hermetic Laws, is a sacred guide once reserved for initiates. Inside, you'll learn how to apply Hermetic laws to reprogram your reality from the inside out. It's now available at a limited-time launch price, but only for those who feel that prosperity is also frequency. The link is in the first pinned comment. When you begin vibrating differently, reality begins to respond. Coincidences become messages. Dreams become synchronicities. And that's exactly what the next sign reveals. Code 6, Synchronicities. When the universe begins to speak back. Have you started noticing repeating numbers or running into someone just after thinking about them? Dreams that come true, songs playing at the perfect moment. These are not coincidences. They are codes. This is the sixth sign. You are no longer just living, you are being recognized. Reality now sees you as a conscious co-creator, and in that recognition, the universe begins to whisper back. Carl Jung called it synchronicity, events that seem unrelated, yet carry deep personal meaning. To the Hermetic initiate, these are reflections. The universe confirming that you've begun to remember who you are. These signs aren't magic, they're mechanics. The law of vibration says what you emit, you receive. The clearer your signal, the more precise the echo. Reality becomes responsive. Quantum physics confirms it too. Through quantum entanglement, particles far apart still influence each other instantly, which means you are connected to a greater field of intelligence, and your attention becomes activation. So when the signs intensify, it's not a game, it's a summons. You're being guided, nudged into alignment, and sometimes the next nudge comes in the form of pain. Code 7. Pain as portal. How repeating suffering reveals the soul's mission. Why does the same pain return, in different faces, different places? Love that breaks you in the same way. Money that slips through no matter what. Loneliness in crowded rooms, cycles, patterns, mirrors. This is the seventh sign. Your soul is not being punished, it's being initiated. It chose to forget, so it could remember with deeper truth. Your wounds are not random, they are maps. Hermes taught, all polarity contains its own healing. The greater the darkness, the more potential for light. So your suffering isn't the end of the road, it's a sacred crossroad, a portal disguised as pain. In transpersonal psychology, they call it spiritual emergence. Trauma becomes transformation when the soul finally sees the pattern. Your greatest breakdowns hold the seeds of your greatest purpose. Why? Because your soul encoded its mission in the very places you tried to avoid. Where it hurt most is where you buried your real power. You are not broken, you are becoming. But sometimes even purpose isn't enough. Sometimes the soul must walk through fire, when all else is stripped away, and that's when you meet the hidden code. Hidden code, the dark night of the soul, remembering through the fire. There comes a moment when everything collapses. Nothing works. No technique brings relief. You feel abandoned by the universe itself. It's not punishment. It's passage. Sacred, terrifying, liberating silence, the dark night of the soul. The mystics spoke of it, the alchemists honored it, the prophets trembled before it, and you're walking through it. Not because you failed, but because you're ready. Hermeticism calls it the threshold, the line between illusion and truth, where the false self dissolves and the divine remembrance emerges. This is not destruction, it is transmutation. In the dark night you kneel, not in defeat, but revelation. You remember you are eternal. You've been here before. You're not lost. You're in the initiation. Hermes coded in silence. You shed masks. You release false identities. And in that dense silence, a soft light begins to pulse. It doesn't come from above, it rises from within. If you've survived your dark night, you hold the key. Even if you're still bleeding or confused, you were chosen to remember, and this isn't a metaphor, it's a sacred fact. The soul's true power isn't born in light, but in integrated shadow. Only those who cross the darkness without, losing their flame, are ready to remember the hermetic truths that shape reality itself, the mirror of the collective, why your awakening affects more than just you. You may think your awakening is personal, that your questions, your pain, your path, are just yours to carry. But what if your inner journey is actually shifting the field for thousands of others? Hermeticism teaches that, as within, so without. Every vibration you transmute inside ripples outward into the collective unconscious. This means your healing echoes in places you'll never see. Your clarity becomes light for minds still in darkness. Your remembering is a torch. Science has begun to confirm this. Studies in quantum coherence and morphic resonance, like those by Rupert Sheldrake and Lynn McTaggart, show that focused intention and emotional states can influence others at a distance, especially when guided by meaning. This is not metaphysics. It's quantum field theory. Your consciousness emits a signature, an electromagnetic imprint shaped by thought and feeling. And when that signature shifts, it creates a frequency others can entrain with, like instruments tuning to a common pitch. This is why so many spiritual awakenings are happening simultaneously. Souls are remembering in waves, not in isolation. And when you speak, write, feel, you're participating in a hidden revolution of awareness. So don't underestimate your journey. The world may not clap when you cry at 3 a.m. or when you choose peace over revenge. But the universe records that frequency shift, and somewhere, someone breathes easier because your field became lighter. This is not just your awakening. It's our shared remembering. And the codes you've activated so far have aligned you to something ancient and deeply alive. And now, as your inner temple realigns, you're ready for the final seal. Let's return to the beginning, not as a seeker, but as the one who remembers. Conclusion: you are not awakening by accident. If you've made it this far, something within you has changed. You're not the same person who pressed play, because this wasn't a video. It was a calling, a spiritual mirror revealing 7 signs, and one hidden code only your soul could truly grasp. You saw yourself in the invisible call, always feeling you didn't belong, then pierced through the veil of illusion as reality revealed itself as a mental projection. You remembered the language of symbols and how sacred geometry always tried to reach you. You felt how the mind is the key and how science, psychology, and mysticism are one. You entered the creative void, realizing the material world cannot satisfy the soul. Then reality began speaking back through synchronicities, precise and sacred, but no sign cut deeper than pain as portal. Those repeated wounds became maps. Your soul wasn't breaking, it was initiating. And finally, in the hidden code, you crossed the dark night of the soul. What Hermes once whispered, you now begin to remember. And if you're ready to apply these truths in practice, access the ebook, The Key to Prosperity. Transform your financial life with the Hermetic laws. This knowledge was once reserved for initiates. It is now available at a symbolic launch price, but only for those who feel that prosperity is frequency. The link is in the first pinned comment. If this journey touched, you honor it with energetic reciprocity. Like, subscribe, and share with someone who needs to remember. What you receive, you amplify. Comment below. I was born to remember. Declare it. Anchor it. Let the field recognize you. And if you're ready to go even deeper, watch the next video. Warning. These 7 ancient codes were hidden by the masters, only for those ready to awaken. What you started here will expand there, because truth is never lost. It simply waits for the ones who came to remember.